Have you ever considered the depth of emotional dependency and its manifestation in fatherly affection? This question may seem complex, but don't worry, we're here to unpack it together. Emotional dependency, as the term suggests, is a state where one person relies heavily on another for emotional support and validation. It's like having a crutch for your emotions, where without the other person you feel unstable or incomplete. Now, when we talk about its manifestation in fatherly affection, we're delving into a more specific dynamic. In paternal relationships, emotional dependency can appear as an excessive need for approval, validation, or even attention from the father. It's a situation where the child, and often even when they've grown into an adult, constantly seeks their father's acceptance or love, tying their self-worth to their father's reactions. This is not to be confused with a healthy father-child bond where mutual love, respect, and understanding exist. Emotional dependency leans more towards an imbalanced relationship. Now let's throw narcissistic traits into the mix. Narcissism is characterized by a heightened sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and a constant need for admiration. So imagine a father with narcissistic tendencies. Their affection could be conditional, often used as a tool to control or manipulate. This can intensify the emotional dependency of the child as they strive to meet the father's often unrealistic expectations just to receive that coveted affection. This dynamic is unhealthy because it creates a cycle of dependency and manipulation. The child, seeking fatherly affection, tries harder and harder to please, often at the cost of their own emotional well-being. Conversely, the father, driven by narcissistic tendencies, may continue to withhold or control affection to maintain this dynamic. Understanding emotional dependency is the first step towards acknowledging its presence in your life. It's not an easy journey, but knowledge is power, and with it, we can begin to navigate the complexities of our relationships. Stay tuned as we explore further into the signs of emotional dependency, its impacts, and ways to handle it. What are the telltale signs of emotional dependency in paternal relationships? Emotional dependency often manifests in a variety of ways, making it a complex issue to identify. Key indicators can include an intense fear of abandonment, a constant need for approval, and a tendency to take on the emotions of the father figure. Another sign might be a lack of personal identity outside of the relationship, where the individual's sense of self is heavily tied to their paternal figure. In addition, emotional dependency can lead to a cycle of self-doubt and low self-esteem, particularly in women. This cycle often perpetuates itself, as the individual may feel a persistent need for validation from the emotionally dependent relationship. Understanding these indicators is crucial for recognizing the impact of emotional dependency. It's important to remember that these signs are not definitive proof, but rather potential red flags that warrant further exploration. Recognizing these signs can empower you to address emotional dependency. How does the narcissistic trait manipulate affection in father-child relationships? This question brings us to a crucial aspect of emotional dependency. Narcissistic fathers often use affection as a tool for control. It's not about genuine love and care, but about maintaining power and dominance. Imagine a puppet master pulling strings. The puppet dances not of its own accord, but because the puppeteer dictates the movements. In a similar vein, a narcissistic father may show affection only when it suits his agenda, manipulating the child's emotions to his advantage. This affection can be unpredictable, given and withdrawn at whim, leaving the child in a constant state of uncertainty. The child becomes conditioned to seek approval, to dance to the puppeteer's tune, creating a cycle of emotional dependency. Being aware of these manipulation tactics is crucial to navigating such relationships. Understanding that affection should not be a tool for control is a significant step towards breaking free from the strings of emotional dependency. What is the emotional cost for women and families dealing with emotionally dependent partners? Imagine a constant tug of war, where one side always has the upper hand. This is the reality for many women dealing with emotionally dependent partners. The emotional toll can be immense, leading to stress, anxiety, and a feeling of being trapped. The partner's emotional needs often take precedence, leading to an imbalance in the relationship. This imbalance doesn't just affect the woman. It permeates the entire family structure, causing strain and creating an environment of tension. Children may grow up witnessing this dynamic, and without intervention, they may replicate it in their future relationships, perpetuating a cycle of emotional dependency. Moreover, families may find it difficult to maintain healthy relationships with relatives and friends, as the emotional dependency controls their social interactions. The effects of emotional dependency ripple through every aspect of family life. It's not just about the partners involved, but the whole family and their collective well-being. How can women recognize and navigate emotional dependency? This is a question many women find themselves asking, often when they've already become entangled in the intricate web of emotional dependency. Recognition is the first step towards navigation. Emotional dependency can manifest in various ways, such as an overwhelming need for approval, a fear of being alone, or an excessive reliance on others for decision-making. It's important to understand that these feelings are not a sign of weakness, but rather signals that one may be in an emotionally dependent relationship. Navigating emotional dependency involves a two-pronged approach: setting boundaries and preserving one's emotional well-being. Boundaries are essential to any healthy relationship. They act as invisible lines that define what is acceptable and what is not. Setting boundaries might seem daunting, especially if you've never done it before, but remember, it's not only okay, but necessary to prioritize your needs. To set boundaries effectively, start by identifying what you're comfortable with and what you're not. This could be anything from the amount of time you spend together to the level of emotional support you provide. Once you've identified your boundaries, communicate them clearly and assertively. It's important to stand your ground, even if it feels uncomfortable initially. Preserving one's emotional well-being is equally important. This involves cultivating self-awareness, practicing self-care, and seeking support when necessary. Self-awareness allows you to recognize your emotions and understand why you're feeling a certain way. Self-care, on the other hand, ensures that you're taking time to recharge and nurture your mental and emotional health. Seeking support can take many forms. It might involve reaching out to a trusted friend or family member, joining a support group, or seeking professional help. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and there's no shame in asking for help. In conclusion, recognizing and navigating emotional dependency is not an easy task, but it's a journey worth embarking on. By setting boundaries and prioritizing your emotional well-being, you can cultivate healthier relationships and a stronger sense of self. Setting boundaries is a crucial step in preserving your emotional well-being. Why is fostering emotional independence in children so important? Emotional independence is essential as it equips children with the resilience and self-confidence they need to navigate their world. It is the cornerstone of a healthy self-esteem and a robust emotional toolkit. When we teach our children to recognize, articulate, and manage their emotions, we empower them to become emotionally intelligent individuals. This kind of emotional self-sufficiency can serve as a shield against manipulation and control. Healthy parent-child bonds should be grounded in mutual respect and understanding, not emotional dependency. It's about striking a balance between offering emotional support and encouraging emotional autonomy. Parents can foster this by validating their children's feelings, teaching them problem-solving skills, and promoting open communication. Remember, emotional independence doesn't mean leaving children to fend for themselves emotionally. It's about guiding them towards understanding and managing their own emotions, while assuring them that they are not alone. Promoting emotional independence in children creates a foundation for healthy relationships. How can professional guidance aid in dealing with emotionally dependent relationships? It's a question many may ask. Professional therapy can be a beacon of light in the sometimes murky waters of emotional dependency. Therapists, particularly those specializing in narcissistic dynamics, can provide a safe space for you to unpack your experiences, feelings, and fears. They can help you understand the complex web of emotions and behaviors that encompass these relationships. Therapy can also equip you with strategies to set healthy boundaries, promote emotional independence, and foster healthier relationships moving forward. This professional guidance can be the catalyst for a journey of healing and personal growth. But where can you find these professionals? There are numerous online directories and resources that can assist you in finding a qualified therapist. Look for those specializing in relationship dynamics and narcissism. Remember, it's paramount to find a therapist you feel comfortable with as this is a key factor in successful therapy. Professional guidance can provide the tools needed to navigate emotionally dependent relationships. How can women assert their emotional needs effectively? By arming themselves with the knowledge of their inherent worth, and by understanding that it's not only okay, but essential to prioritize their own emotional well-being. This might mean setting boundaries or seeking support from friends, family, or professional networks. Self-care isn't selfish, it's a necessity. Building a strong support network can be an empowering step towards asserting emotional needs. Remember, empowered women are capable of asserting their emotional needs. What strategies can help break free from cycles of emotional dependency? A pivotal step is recognizing the patterns of dependency and acknowledging the need for change. It's about setting emotional boundaries, asserting your needs, and prioritizing self-care. In some instances, professional help may be necessary. Remember, it's not about blaming, but understanding, forgiving, and moving forward. And while the journey may be challenging, the rewards are immense. Breaking free from emotional dependency paves the way for healing and personal growth. What support groups and resources are available for individuals facing emotional dependency? The question is a vital one as it speaks to the heart of the matter, the need for a supportive community in the journey to emotional independence. In today's digital age, a wealth of online platforms and communities exist, dedicated to supporting individuals navigating through emotional dependency. These platforms provide a safe space for sharing experiences, gaining insights, and learning strategies to handle emotionally dependent relationships effectively. Support groups, both online and in person, offer a sense of community and understanding that can be incredibly comforting. They foster a sense of belonging, where one can feel seen, heard, and validated. Moreover, resources such as self-help books, podcasts, webinars, and blogs on emotional dependency provide practical advice and actionable steps to navigate these complex dynamics. Remember, in this journey, you're not alone. Connecting with others who have faced similar experiences can provide invaluable support and guidance.